Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to be chatting about IELTS Speaking Part 2, how to prepare for and introduce your talk. Alright, so in IELTS Speaking Test Part 2, it is true a lot of students get really nervous about the idea for speaking about a topic for 2 minutes. And it's true, when you're first studying IELTS, 2 minutes might feel like 2 hours. A lot of my beginner students stress a lot about trying to think of something interesting to talk about, but you actually aren't scored at all on whether or not your topic is interesting. Part 2 topics are based on your own experience, so you don't need to worry about coming up with the most interesting answer or try to talk about something the examiner has never heard of before. Don't worry about that. You should pick something that is easy for you to talk about. So, if they're going to ask you about a trip that you have taken, pick a trip that you've taken that you can remember the most about and talk the most about. I've had students try to pick a country they visited when they were 3 years old, and they don't have much to say because it was too long ago and they can't remember, but they thought that was a more exciting place. Don't do it to yourself. Pick the topic that's easier for you, and by easier I mean the one you have the most to say about it. Alright, so the IELTS examiner only cares about your fluency, your vocabulary, your grammar, and your pronunciation, so don't worry about the interesting topic. Today we're going to talk about how we start preparing for Part 2 for the first time and ways we can introduce our talk. So one of the hardest aspects is that you're only given 1 minute to prepare for your topic. It's really critical that you use this full minute to jot down some short notes. This is something you really need to practice and practice a lot. The process of jotting down notes will help you to prepare to speak, and then your notes are there so you can look down for a moment and then continue your talk. If you take an IELTS class at CMU, for instance, your teachers will always cover a wide range of common IELTS topics and help you to grow your vocabulary for these topics. It's super important to practice in class and at home too. My first rule, do not write notes in full sentences. No full sentences anywhere, you don't have time. A lot of beginner students will just write the first sentence they're going to say, which should be the easiest sentence, and then you've wasted like 30 seconds just doing that. So don't do it. No sentences allowed. When you're first starting out, just keep it simple, short notes. So the best thing to do is look at the instructions on the speaking card, underline the key points. So one of our examples today will be talk about a time you learned something new. You should say what you learned, how you learned it, what the result was, and how you felt about this thing. So we're gonna listen or look for the what, the how, the results, and the feelings. So immediately I'm gonna write some very short notes, some words, phrases, vocabulary, grammar, whatever it might be, to help me address those points. So for me, I'd probably talk about the what would be beginner's Vietnamese. This is a topic that's fresh and new to me, and I have a lot to say about it. The how, face-to-face class with a Vietnamese teacher. The result, I had terrible pronunciation and people couldn't understand me. And how I felt, nervous, scared, frustrated, and disappointed, but determined to keep going. Okay, so remember, for the topic, you can talk about anything at all. It doesn't have to be a big thing. You could talk about learning how to tie your shoes, if you can remember, and talk about that. Learning how to ride a bicycle, if you can remember that well. Learn how you solved your first math problem, if you're into math and you have good vocabulary for that. How to make a cake, how to cook an egg, even how to make 2-minute noodles. I've had students successfully talk about how to make 2-minute noodles and how they learn to do that. It's possible. All right, so I do recommend using an app like otter.ai. It's a great tool. There's a free version where you can record your talk. It will keep track of your keywords, the words you say a lot. It'll let you know, that you're able to talk for the 2 minutes that we're trying for. And it's just a great way to see how you're going and keep track of your progress. All right, now how to introduce your topic. So a lot of people automatically just repeat back the question or the topic. We call it parroting, where you're just repeating back the same information without really changing anything or much at all. Now, it seems like a normal thing to do, but it doesn't show the examiner that you have any flexibility with vocabulary or your grammatical structures. So we want to get a bit more creative. So if your topic was talk about your favorite meal, if you're gonna keep it just like that, you'd say, today I will talk about my favorite meal. Okay. The issue with that is it doesn't show the examiner that you have any flexibility. So instead of saying the same thing, you could say, I'm a huge foodie, and I'd say my go-to dish for celebrations is Thai red curry, something like that. Or when it comes to food, I find it hard to go past the flavors of an Indian dish called butter chicken. Right, so you're introducing your topic in a different way. It's on topic, but you're showing off other vocabulary. You're not just repeating the first part of the topic right back to the examiner. One more example. Describe a time when you learned something new. We were just discussing this. So if you keep it just like the card, you would say, today I will describe a time when I learned something new. All right, there's nothing different about that. I might mix it up and say, I love the challenge of picking up a new skill, and today I'll talk about my experience in learning Vietnamese. Or I'm going to tell you about the time I learned to drive a car for the first time. Or even something really simple like, I'll never forget the day my dad taught me how to ride a bike. You're still introducing the topic, but you're showing flexibility, you're saying it in a different way, and that's going to help you out more. So what I'm going to challenge you, if you're up for the challenge, pick any IELTS Speaking Part 2 question. You might have some in a book that you're studying from, or Google is there to help you too. Put on your timer for exactly 1 minute. And I want you to write short notes, just some keywords and phrases for 1 minute only. Stop after 1 minute. Then set your timer for 2 minutes, and I challenge you to try to keep going for the full 2 minutes. Record yourself if you can, using an app like otter.ai so you can go back and check. Now, this is something, if you do this regularly, you're going to get better and faster, I promise. So good luck, everyone. Wishing you lots of great practice, and we'll see you next time.